the Nikon Z8, Sony A9 III, Sony A1 II, Canon EOS R1, and Canon EOS R5 Mark II are the most popular mirrorless camera for beginners of 2025. But which is the absolute best? We are going to compare them to each other and score them in various categories, with some categories holding more weight than others. In the end, we'll decide which is the best one based on the final score, and we will declare the absolute winner. Let's dive in. First, we are going to compare them on the image quality category, which has a multiplier of 2. The Nikon Z8 and its 45.7 megapixel stacked sensor-produced images with absolutely stunning detail and that signature Nikon color richness that makes editing a breeze. However, while its performance is brilliant for the resolution, I'd personally keep the ISO below 6,400 to avoid noticeable noise, which feels a bit more limiting than some of the newer competition. I'm giving it a 9.0 out of 10. The Sony A9 III is a different beast entirely, and while its global shutter is a technological marvel for action, I feel it comes at a clear cost to overall image quality, as the dynamic range is noticeably lacking, and noise creeps in much earlier at higher ISOs compared to the other cameras here, making it a highly specialized tool rather than an all-around image quality champion. For general use, it earns a 7.5 out of 10. Then there's the Sony A1 II, and its 50.1 megapixel sensor delivers truly exceptional levels of detail and files that hold up impressively, even at ISOs as high as 25,600 ms. But I found myself wishing for more flexibility in post-production, as its ability to recover shadow detail from the raw files is just okay and doesn't quite match the performance of other high-end cameras. Especially considering its flagship price, it gets an 8.5 out of 10. Moving to the Canon EOS R1, as a camera built for pure speed and performance for professionals, I found that while the images are clean and the colors are fantastic, it doesn't quite resolve the same level of fine detail as the higher resolution bodies in this list, placing it in a similar camp to the A9 III, where speed is prioritized over ultimate image quality. So it scores an 8.0 out of 10. Finally, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II really impressed me, as its new 45 megapixel stacked sensor delivers truly excellent image quality with tons of detail and fantastic dynamic range that let me recover about 4 stops of shadow detail in my RAW files. While it's not quite as clean as a traditional non-stacked sensor at the highest ISOs, the balance it strikes between speed, resolution, and flexibility is just phenomenal, making the files a joy to work with. This one is a 9.5 out of 10. The Canon EOS R5 Mark II takes the win here with 9.5 points because it provides an outstanding balance of high resolution, dynamic range, and high ISO performance without the major compromises seen in some of the more specialized cameras. Next, we are going to compare them on the ease of use category, which has a multiplier of 2. Starting with the Nikon Z8, I found it to be a powerhouse of customization with super responsive operation and buttons that light up, which is a lifesaver in low light. However, its professional level layout can feel a bit overwhelming if you're new to the game, and the grip, while fine for my hands, might not suit everyone, earning it a 7.5 out of 10. The Sony A9 III is a completely different beast, feeling incredibly fast and ready to shoot the instant you turn it on, and its redesigned menu system is a massive improvement, making it far more intuitive than past Sony cameras. Though it can take a few seconds to write large bursts of photos to a slower SD card, which lands it at an 8.8 out of 10. Then we have the Sony A1 II, which strikes a wonderful balance by letting you either dive deep into its manual dials and controls or just switch it to auto and let the camera do the heavy lifting, all in a compact body that's great on the move, but some photographers might miss the feel of a larger, deeper grip. So I'm giving it an 8.1 out of 10. Moving on to the Canon EOS R1, this camera is built like an absolute tank with amazing configurable controls that feel perfectly placed for a professional, but its sheer size and complexity are honestly just too much for a beginner, making it feel less like a starting point and more like a final destination, leading me to a score of 6.9 out of 10. Finally, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II just nails the user experience with what is still the simplest and easiest menu system on the market, combined with a fantastic articulating touchscreen and a dedicated switch to jump between photo and video modes. Even though I did accidentally hit the new lock function on the power switch a few times, it still gets a 9.2 out of 10. For me, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II takes the win with 9.2 out of 10, because its incredibly simple menu system and intuitive controls make it the most approachable camera here for someone just starting their journey. Next, we're going to compare them on the autofocus performance category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The Nikon Z8 impresses with its ability to lock onto subjects from remarkably far away and hold focus tenaciously, even in very low light, though I found that getting the absolute best performance requires a deep dive into the settings, which can be a bit much when you're just starting out, so I am giving it an 8.2 out of 10. When I first used the Sony A9 III, its speed was just mind-blowing, performing 120 autofocus calculations every second thanks to a dedicated AI processor. But honestly, For most beginner situations, this feels like bringing a rocket launcher to a knife fight, and its performance wasn't always noticeably better than other cameras in tricky situations, landing it at a 7.8 out of 10. I found the Sony A1 II to be exceptionally intelligent, using advanced AI to predict where a subject's eye would be, even when they turned their head away from the camera, which felt like magic. However, its new extra small focus points that are meant for precision shooting were surprisingly less effective in general use cases, earning it a score of 8.7 out of 10. Using the Canon EOS R1 is an experience in pure speed, tracking subjects flawlessly at 40 frames per second, but I was genuinely shocked to find that it cannot automatically switch subject detection between people, animals, or vehicles, forcing you to manually change it in the menu every single time, which is a huge inconvenience that brings its score down to a 7.2 out of 10. Finally, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II delivered the most dependable and forgiving autofocus I have ever used, with a miss rate of only about 1% in my testing and a fantastic pre-capture feature that records moments before you even fully press the shutter, saving me from countless missed shots, making it the clear winner at 9.5 out of 10. With its incredibly low miss rate and beginner-friendly pre-capture mode, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II takes the win in this category with 9.5 points for being the most reliable and forgiving autofocus system of the bunch. Next, we're going to compare them on the lens compatibility category, which has a multiplier of 1.5. The Nikon Z8 is a fantastic camera that works with Nikon's incredibly sharp native Z-mount lenses, but I found that to access the wider world of affordable legacy glass, you are heavily reliant on the FTZ adapter, which doesn't always provide the most seamless experience with older lenses compared to the competition. For that, it gets a 7.2 out of 10. With the Sony A9 III, you're tapping into the incredibly mature Sony E-mount ecosystem, giving you what feels like a limitless selection of both first-party and third-party lenses that support its insane shooting speeds. Though finding the specific glass optimized for its maximum frames per second can be a bit of a hunt, I rate its compatibility at 9.2 out of 10. The Sony A1 II leverages that same massive E-mount system to its full potential, offering a truly versatile arsenal of lenses for everything from high-resolution portrait work to fast-paced action, giving me more high-quality choices at different price points than any other camera I've tested. This earns it a 9.5 out of 10. When I used the Canon EOS R1, I was impressed by how flawlessly it works with older EF lenses using an adapter, opening up a huge catalog of professional glass, but the native RF lens lineup, while optically superb, feels a bit more limited and expensive for a beginner just starting out. This results in a score of 7.8 out of 10. Finally, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II shares the same RF mount as the flagship R1, providing access to stunning native lenses and excellent performance with adapted EF glass, which presents an amazing value proposition for anyone building a kit on a budget without sacrificing quality. I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. The Sony A1 II takes the win here with 9.5 points because its access to the vast and mature E-mount lens system provides an unmatched level of choice and versatility for any type of photography you can imagine. Finally, we're going to compare them on the value for money category, which has a multiplier of 3. The Nikon Z8 is an incredible investment, giving you the flagship performance and 46 megapixel stills of the much pricier Z9 in a more compact body, though I found its dynamic range slightly limited and missed the feel of a mechanical shutter, earning it an 8.5 out of 10. Next up, the Sony A9 III is a total game changer for action photography with its revolutionary global shutter system. But for day-to-day use, its feature set is so specialized that the immense cost is simply impossible to justify for most people, which is why I'm giving it a 6.0 out of 10. I was blown away by the Sony A1 II, which delivers absolutely stunning detail with its 60 megapixel sensor and 8K video at 60 frames per second. But its professional-grade features are complete overkill for anyone who isn't a high-end commercial photographer, landing at a 6.5 out of 10. The Canon EOS R1 feels like it's from the future, with its killer artificial intelligence-powered autofocus that makes it the king of sports cameras, but its highly specialized nature means you are paying a huge premium for features you might never use. So for value, it gets a 7.0 out of 10. Finally, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II strikes a beautiful balance, packing many of the high-end features and performance I loved from the flagships into a much more accessible and versatile package that excels at almost everything you throw at it, making it a clear winner at 9.2 out of 10. With its winning combination of advanced features and versatile performance at a great price, the Canon EOS R5 Mark II takes the win with 9.2 points. The results of our comparison show each product shines in its own way, but the Canon EOS R5 Mark II stands out with its score of 92. This camera impressed me with its remarkably balanced performance across all categories. Its stunning image quality, coupled with its intuitive ease of use, makes it an ideal choice even for beginners. The autofocus system is incredibly reliable, ensuring I never missed a moment, and its compatibility with an extensive range of lenses offers great versatility. All these features are wrapped up in a package package that offers fantastic value for money, proving the EOS R5 Mark II to be a true all-rounder that excels in every scenario. While the Canon EOS R5 Mark II takes the crown, the other contenders have their own strengths. The Nikon Z8, with its impressive score of 81.6, delivers superb image quality and a customizable user experience, ideal for photography enthusiasts willing to delve deeper into settings. The Sony A1 II, which scored 80.5, stands out with its exceptional detail capture and versatility in lens choice, making it suited for high-end work. The Sony A9 III and Canon EOS R1, with scores of 76.1 and 73.3 respectively, cater primarily to specialized photography needs, offering rapid autofocus and robust builds that are perfect for sports and action photography. Each of these cameras has its unique appeal, and depending on your specific requirements, they're all worthy considerations.